Welcome to the deep dive where we where we really get to go deep today
Yeah,
into a topic that's really been capturing a lot of attention lately, and that is atopic diseases and the microbiome.
yeah, fascinating stuff.
Now, I think a lot of our listeners are probably already pretty familiar with atopic diseases, things like eczema, hay fever, asthma. But what's really blowing people's minds is the fact that the trillions of bacteria that we have living on and inside us
Yeah,
actually play a way bigger role than we ever realized.
absolutely. It really is a paradigm shift in how we think about these conditions,
Yeah.
We're moving beyond just treating symptoms and we're starting to look at the root cause.
Yeah.
And that root cause is often the microbiome.
So it's not just our genes, not just our environment anymore. We're
Right.
talking about this whole other world,
Yeah,
this microscopic world that's influencing our health in ways that we're just starting to understand.
absolutely. And one of the most fascinating things we've been uncovering is the link between the bacteria on our skin and food allergies.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that the bacteria on my skin could be making me allergic to peanuts?
Well, it's still an active area of research.
Okay.
But the evidence is starting to suggest that our skin microbiome can shape our immune responses beyond the skin itself.
So it's not just about keeping our skin clean anymore. It's about having the right balance of bacteria.
That's exactly it. And that's where this concept of dysbiosis comes in,
Okay.
which basically means an imbalance in the microbial community.
Okay.
It's where the bad guys start to outnumber the good guys.
I see. So in atopic dermatitis, we're talking about one of the main culprits being Staphylococcus aureus. Is that right?
That's right, aureus.
Yeah.
It's often found in excess on the skin of people with eczema, and it releases substances that worsen the inflammation and the itching.
It's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just that you have sensitive skin, you have an overgrowth of this particular bacteria.
Precisely. And what's even more interesting is that this S. aureus colonization on the skin has also been linked to food allergies, suggesting that there's a much bigger picture here.
It really does highlight how interconnected our bodies are
Yeah,
and how this invisible world of bacteria is constantly influencing our health.
absolutely. And this connection extends beyond the skin. We're seeing research showing a link between atopic diseases and inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD.
So you're saying what's going on in my gut could be affecting my eczema.
There's growing evidence to suggest that there are shared pathways of immune dysregulation at play in both atopic diseases and IBD.
So our gut health matters too.
Absolutely, it's all connected. For example, asthma and allergic rhinitis have been linked to an increased risk of developing IBD. So it seems that these conditions, which were once thought to be separate, might actually share some common underlying mechanisms.
And this brings us to the exciting part, I think, which is the potential for new treatments that actually target the microbiome.
Exactly. Instead of just masking the symptoms with creams and pills, we're starting to explore ways to actually restore balance to the microbial community itself.
So we're talking about things like probiotics, prebiotics.
Exactly. Probiotics are live bacteria that can help replenish the good guys in our gut, while prebiotics act as food for those beneficial bacteria, helping them to thrive.
Like gardening, but for your gut.
Yeah, exactly. And we're finding specific strains of probiotics that are showing real promise in actually reducing the symptoms of things like atopic dermatitis and asthma.
That's incredibly encouraging. It sounds like we're really on the cusp of some major breakthroughs in how we treat these conditions.
I think so. And it goes beyond just probiotics and prebiotics. We're also seeing the emergence of targeted therapies that specifically address the underlying microbial imbalances.
So what does that look like?
Well, one example is a drug called lebrikizumab. It's a monoclonal antibody that targets a molecule called IL-13, which plays a key role in the inflammation that drives atopic dermatitis.
So it's like a precision strike against inflammation.
Exactly. And the results from clinical trials have been very promising, with many patients experiencing significant and long-lasting improvements in their symptoms.
So that's really good news for people who are dealing with the misery of eczema. Are there any other kind of novel approaches out there?
Yeah, there's growing interest in topical probiotics, which are beneficial bacteria that are applied directly to the skin.
So instead of eating the probiotics, we're putting them right on our skin.
Exactly. And studies have shown that these topical probiotics can actually reduce the severity of atopic dermatitis and even decrease the amount of S. aureus on the skin.
So we're really starting to move away from just managing symptoms and towards solutions that actually tackle the root cause, which is that microbial imbalance.
You got it. And one of the most fascinating things that we came across in our research was this unique herbal formula that was outlined in a guide called The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies.
Okay, an herbal formula specifically for atopic diseases. This is getting really interesting. What's in this potent mix?
Well, it starts with mulberry extract.
A mulberry extract. I've never even heard of that.
It's actually been shown to inhibit the growth of S. aureus
Right.
and improve skin condition in people with atopic dermatitis.
Wow. So what else is in this formula?
Well, another key ingredient is berberine.
Okay.
And berberine not only tackles inflammation, but also inhibits the growth of S. aureus. So it's like a double whammy.
This is fascinating. I can't wait to hear more about this herbal formula and the other cutting-edge treatments that we're uncovering.
Yeah, me too. We'll dive into those details in the next part of our deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Now, before the break, we're talking about this herbal formula from the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies.
Yeah. This formula, it's not just about masking the symptoms. This formula really takes a multi-pronged approach, aiming to restore balance at like a deeper level.
So it's more than just slapping on a cream or popping a pill. We're talking about really addressing the root cause here.
Precisely. And it does that through this clever combination of natural ingredients, each one chosen for its specific role in combating atopic diseases.
Okay, so remind me, what are those key players again?
Well, we already touched on mulberry extract and berberine. Both of those tackle inflammation and inhibit the growth of S. aureus.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like the dynamic duo taking down those bacterial bad guys.
Exactly. Then we have Vitreosilla filiformis.
Okay.
That's a topical probiotic, and it helps to replenish the skin with beneficial bacteria. So think of it like sending in reinforcements to crowd out the troublemakers.
So we're hitting those bad bacteria from all angles,
Yeah.
internal, external. It's like a full-on microbial makeover.
That's a great way to put it. And then to round out this all-star team, we have turmeric
Oh, of course.
with its potent anti-inflammatory compound curcumin.
Turmeric, yeah. The golden child of anti-inflammation. I knew it had to be in there somewhere.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
But it's not just about those key players,
Okay.
This formula also includes a supporting cast of ingredients that work synergistically to enhance its effectiveness.
Oh, interesting. So, like, what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, there are omega-3 fatty acids,
Mhm.
known for their anti-inflammatory benefits
Uh-huh.
and their role in supporting skin health.
Yeah.
And then there's aloe vera,
Aloe vera. Okay.
a soothing agent,
Mhm.
that calms and hydrates irritated skin.
Aloe vera, nature's first aid kit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And lastly, there's evening primrose oil,
Okay.
which helps to strengthen the skin's barrier function, keeping those irritants out.
It's like giving the skin its own suit of armor.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So this whole blend of ingredients works in concert to tackle atopic diseases from multiple angles. It's really a holistic approach that aims to restore balance to the body from the inside out.
It's pretty amazing how these traditional remedies are now being backed by scientific research, It seems like we're really rediscovering the power of nature.
Absolutely. But before anyone rushes out to, concoct this herbal remedy,
Right.
we do need to emphasize the importance of consulting with a healthcare professional.
Yeah. Safety first. It's crucial to make sure this formula is right for you, especially if you're taking other medications or have any underlying health conditions.
Right. Your doctor can help determine the appropriate dosage,
Yeah.
check for potential interactions, and ensure that this formula aligns with your individual health needs.
Yeah. Always best to get personalized advice from a qualified healthcare provider. But this whole deep dive into atopic diseases and the microbiome, it's really shifting our perspective on how we approach these conditions.
It really is. It's a paradigm shift. We're moving away from just managing symptoms, and we're moving towards addressing those root causes. And this understanding of the microbiome, it really is opening up this whole new world of possibilities.
It's like we're entering a new era of healthcare where we're not just treating diseases, but actually nurturing that delicate ecosystem within us.
I like that. And speaking of a new era, one of the most exciting developments is this concept of personalized medicine.
You mean tailoring treatments to an individual's unique microbiome profile?
Exactly. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, we can analyze an individual's microbiome to identify specific imbalances or deficiencies. And then we can create targeted interventions, whether it's through probiotics or prebiotics, dietary changes, or even fecal microbiota transplants.
Fecal microbiota transplants. Hold on, are we talking about like transplanting poop?
It might sound unusual, but fecal microbiota transplants are showing remarkable results, particularly for conditions like recurrent C. difficile infection, which is notoriously difficult to treat.
So we're taking gut bacteria from a healthy donor and transplanting it into someone with a microbiome that's, out of whack.
It's like giving the gut a fresh start,
Wow.
introducing a healthy community of microbes to restore balance.
Okay, I have to admit that's pretty mind-blowing. But it just goes to show how powerful the microbiome is and how much potential there is for personalized medicine in this field.
It's an exciting time to be exploring the microbiome and its impact on our health. We're really just scratching the surface of what's possible.
It's amazing to think that these tiny organisms living inside us have such a profound impact on our well-being. And now, armed with this knowledge, we have the power to influence our internal ecosystem and make choices that, that support a healthy microbiome.
And that's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned as we uncover the steps you can take to nurture your microbiome and potentially reduce your risk of atopic diseases.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground in this episode, exploring this fascinating and complex world of atopic diseases and the microbiome.
It really is amazing to think that these tiny organisms living inside of us can have such a profound impact on our health.
Yeah. We've seen how an imbalance in microbiome can actually set the stage for conditions like eczema, hay fever, and asthma.
But the good news is we're not powerless against these microbial shifts, right?
Yeah.
We actually have the power to influence our internal ecosystem and make choices that support a healthy microbiome.
That's what's so exciting about this research. It's empowering.
So let's talk about what we can do. What are some things that we can do to nurture our microbiome and potentially reduce our risk of developing atopic diseases?
Well, one of the most important things is to embrace a diverse diet, rich in fiber and fermented foods.
Fiber, that's the stuff that keeps things moving, right?
Exactly. Fiber acts as food for the beneficial bacteria in our gut, helping them to thrive and outcompete the harmful bacteria.
Okay. And fermented foods, those are things like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi.
Yes, fermented foods are packed with probiotics, those live bacteria that can help to replenish the good guys in our gut.
So it's like we're giving our gut bacteria a feast.
Precisely. And the more diverse our diet is, the more diverse our gut microbiome will be. And diverse microbiome is a resilient microbiome.
Makes sense. What else can we do?
Well, we also need to be mindful of our use of antibiotics.
Right, because antibiotics kill bacteria, both good and bad.
Exactly. While antibiotics are essential for treating bacterial infections, overuse can disrupt the delicate balance of the microbiome.
So it's important to use antibiotics only when necessary and, as prescribed by a doctor.
Absolutely. And, there are other lifestyle factors that can impact our microbiome, such as stress and sleep.
Stress can mess with our gut bacteria.
It certainly can. Chronic stress can alter the composition and function of the microbiome, potentially increasing our susceptibility to disease.
So managing stress through techniques like exercise, yoga, or meditation could be beneficial for our gut health.
Indeed, and getting enough sleep is also crucial. Studies have shown that sleep deprivation can negatively impact the microbiome.
It seems like everything is connected.
It really is.
Yeah.
Our bodies are complex ecosystems, and everything we do, from the food we eat to the amount of sleep we get, can impact the trillions of microorganisms that call us home.
Well, this whole deep dive has really been a real eye-opener.
It's truly remarkable how much we're learning about the microbiome and its role in our health. And this is just the beginning.
I'm excited to see what the future holds for this field.
Me too. Imagine a world where we can personalize our microbial communities.
Yeah.
Selecting the best bacteria for our individual needs.
It's like choosing apps for our smartphones, but for our gut.
That's a great analogy. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be able to prevent atopic diseases altogether by promoting a healthy microbiome from the very beginning of life.
It's a fascinating possibility, but for now, let's focus on what we can do today to nurture our microbiome and improve our overall health.
Absolutely. Embrace a diverse diet, rich in fiber and fermented foods. Be mindful of your antibiotic use, manage stress, get enough sleep, and spend time in nature.
Those are all great tips. And remember, this deep dive is just the beginning of your exploration. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep marveling at the wonders of the unseen world within us.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time.